This is a very special week, my friends. This week we'll be talking about all the edgy anime boy OCs. This is a genre of creepypasta that I assume came after the wake of epic Jeff the Killer fan art. People wanting to make their own cool serial killers for people to draw fan art of and ship together. Laughing Jack is the first example I went with because A, it was the first I could think of, and B, his design is the only interesting thing about him, because that's all you're supposed to care about. The story is just like Mr. Widemouth. Both use the evil imaginary friend trope, but neither of them leave that much of an impression. Laughing Jack follows an unnamed single mother, or father depending on which narration you're listening to, whose son starts talking about an imaginary friend named Laughing Jack. After mom has a nightmare, spooky things start happening around the house, escalating to Laughing Jack gutting their dog, and then the kid. The whole thing feels really bland. The characters of the boy and the mom aren't given any memorable personality traits, and aside from the candy that Jack puts in the dog, there's nothing all too creative about him. He just shows up and does what he does. He's a clown, why not have him do something clowny? Beyond the whole candy thing, of course. The mom is obviously distressed by all the things going on, but it's not communicated in any interesting way. That part should have been fleshed out more, at least. It does its job as a short horror story, but Laughing Jack has no intrigue. I had more issues with it originally, but those actually came from the Mr. Creepypasta reading of it. Going through these stories on my own instead of a narration 9 times out of 10 makes them better. The origin of Laughing Jack was published sometime around the first, and is much longer. Most of the added length is because of all the in-depth gore scenes, however. Laughing Jack first gets brought into the world in the 1800s. A lonely little boy in London has no friends to play with, so a guardian angel, the story never clarifies, delivers him a magical Jack-in-the-Box for Christmas. Jack comes out of the box and is the boy's new magical friend for life. Instead of the Laughing Jack we know now, he's bright, colorful, and doesn't kill people. The boy gets an escape from his abusive parents by playing with the clown, but after Laughing Jack strangles a cat to death on accident, the boy is blamed for it and sent away. Years later, the boy comes back to the house where Jack's old box is, and he's a serial killer. Laughing Jack is corrupted by not only the loneliness brought on by missing his boy, but since his personality is magically linked to his, Jack becomes a killer too. The whole last third of the story is just made up of long drawn-out gore scenes. Jack's kid, and now an adult, brings home victims to murder, and they go through that like 5 times. And then Jack kills the boy, which is kind of fun because he says Freddy Krueger quips while he does it, and makes balloon animals out of the dude's intestines. I think the idea of the magic clown getting corrupted, that's cool, but the rest of the story isn't memorable. In fact, neither of these are. It's the design that carries. He's so cool, even if he is another iconic creepypasta monster that looks like a Death Note character. His design stuck. You can still buy a bunch of stuff of Laughing Jack on Amazon and on random Halloween decoration websites. Maybe I'm misremembering, or wasn't there a Laughing Jack mask at Spirit Halloween last year? People who are into edgy anime boys and clowns probably like him a whole lot. Thanks to the origin story, there's 2 versions of him now, so you can do the Onceler thing and ship him with himself. The Laughing Jack duology isn't as bad as Jeff or something, but he hasn't gone down in history for being a well-written or scary character. He's a cool emo clown guy, one out of many creepypastas that only exist to platform their edgy monsters and nothing else.